Now let's start cutting our video. In this section of the tutorial, I will show you some couple of ways to trim and cut your videos on your timeline. We already imported the video, then we dragged and dropped it into the timeline like we did in the interface section of this tutorial. So if you come to the toolbar here, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4 here. The fourth icon here is the razor tool. If you select it, you will be able to cut and split your videos. You see your videos is now split into 2 parts here on the timeline. To see what I'm doing properly, I'm going to select this zoom line and pull it inward. You can see that one single video has now been split into 2 parts using the razor tool. Let's undo this. The second way you can trim your video is either to come here without selecting any tool here. The first tool here is the selection tool, and to activate it, you hit V. What selection tool does is to drop an active tool on your mouse. So now if you bring your mouse toward the edge of the clip, you can see that it has turned into a red arrow pointing inward to the left. So if you click and hold and drag, that trims your video also. You can also do the same thing from the beginning. It will turn into a red arrow. You'd click, drag to trim. So let's undo this. This is only applicable when you are trying to edit a single clip. What about if we have 2 clips on the timeline and you want to cut the in-between? There are a couple of ways you can do that. First, let's bring in a second clip by double-clicking on the Project Manager window and then selecting a second clip right here. So once you bring it in, you select the clip, hold and drag it into the timeline. Now we have the second clip and the first clip. Now let's assume we want to cut this part away and we want to keep this other part so that it will join here. So you can either hit the razor tool here on the toolbar, or you hit C on your keyboard to activate it, then you cut exactly where your timeline is. It will snap to that place, exactly where your playhead is, I mean to say. Then you hit V on your keyboard to activate the selection tool. You can then select this, hit backspace bar key, and it will remove that part you don't want. Select the other part of the video and then move it, drag it to close the gap. But what about if you have thousands of video to your right? Will you move thousands of those videos one by one? No. Let me show you where a tool becomes handy. In that instance, we are going to use the Ripple Edit tool. The Ripple Edit tool is located just above the razor tool on the toolbar, which is this one here. You can click to activate it, or you hit B on your keyboard to activate it. Now that your timeline is here and we want to cut out this part, so instead of cutting it with the razor tool, deleting and manually moving the footage, the Ripple Edit tool helps us do all of that with one single click. Now bring your cursor here until it points arrow that indicate it is ready to trim toward the left. Now click and hold and drag. It is going to move the clip automatically while also removing what we don't want. Fantastic. This is fast, isn't it? So similarly, you can also cut any other part of the video using the razor tool. You split first in case if there's an in-between that you don't want, maybe from here to here, and you want to keep this other part. That is when you combine the razor tool and the Ripple tool. Now I've used the razor tool to cut our space. Then hit B on your keyboard to activate the Ripple tool. Then put it until it points toward the right. Click, hold, and drag, and trim. Then we have moved away what we don't want. So this is how you can use the Ripple tool, that is the Ripple Edit tool and the razor tool to cut and trim your videos. Like I said earlier, with your selection tool selected, you can still use the normal cursor to crop or trim.